What's going on, guys? Winner Kills here, and welcome to a brand new locals feature match. Here we are in the fourth and final round for the week, and we've got Dinomorphia on the left versus Libromancer on the right, aka Scythe Turbo. I mean, outside of it being a Scythe lock deck, I do think it is a pretty cool archetype, especially being a TCG exclusive one. Yeah, I like that it is a ritual-based deck too, because those decks oftentimes seem few and far between. So we're going to see Libromancer win the die roll here. We're going to see them go first, activating E-Telly to go ahead and summon out a copy of Geek Boy. And not to forgive me, these cards, I really haven't read them all that often. But he's going to summon Libromancer Geek Boy, reveal a ritual monster in your hand, special summon this card from your hand. If this card is special summoned, you can add a Libromancer spell from your deck to your hand. So he'll go ahead and activate the effect. When it is summoned by E-Telly, to go ahead and grab a copy of First Appearance, the field spell. This is the one I believe that lets them ritual summon. Yeah, so I've played against this deck a couple times, but I have an idea of what some of the cards do, but still kind of learning, I guess. So he's going to activate First Appearance. It's going to go ahead and add a copy of Fire. This card is activated. Add a Libromancer monster from your deck to your hand with a different name, and then the cards you control. So we're going to see him activate Fire, revealing a copy of the Illusion of Chaos, because I believe they all have to reveal like ritual spells or monster. Fire says reveal a monster in your hand. Special on this card is special summon, add a Libromancer monster from your deck to your hand. So he's going to go ahead and search out a copy of Doom Broker, which is basically, I think, like pretty much like the boss monster of the deck. It says you can ritual summon this card with the Libromancer card. If this card is ritual summoned by using a monster or monsters on the field, it can be attacked directly. You can only use each of the following effects of Doom Broker once per turn. During the main phase, you can set a Libromancer spell or trap directly from your deck. So yeah, kind of a good card. We're going to see him normal summon Diviner, Feel Finer. We'll see him dump a copy of Herald of the Arclight to add a copy of Ben 10 from the deck to the hand. So we know Illusion in hand, we know Ben 10, we know Doom Broker, and I think that's about all we know. So we're going to go ahead and see him synchro here for Baron de Fleur, because that Diviner was actually a level 6 and Fire is a level 4, thanks to his level manipulation. Now we're going to see him go ahead and ritual summon Doom Broker using the field spell by tributing Ben 10 from hand. So we'll go ahead and get to search a copy of everybody's favorite level 5 light fairy monster, Artifact Scythe. Who would have guessed? So yeah, I imagine we'll see Baron probably pop the Scythe, and then Baron effect in the standby phase to go ahead and revive it back. It seems pretty fragile, but he is able to go ahead and get the counter trap. Doom Broker also says during your main phase you can set a Libromancer trap directly from your deck. So he's going to go ahead and set the Intervention, which is a normal trap, and then we're going to go ahead and see we're actually going to see Artifacts, not Artifact Scythe here. We're going to see the Magician's Souls actually send off the field spell and the set Scythe, since it is treated as a spell or trap. Send it off to attempt to draw 2. That's going to, go ahead and eat the Ash Blossom from our Dinomorphia player here. Although he could potentially negate with the Baron here, and it looks like he will. So he will go ahead and secure the 2 draws. And also remembering that the Doom Broker doesn't add the trap. It sets it, so making sure they fix that there by making sure the Intervention is set. And then we're going to see him link everything else off, besides the Doom Broker and the Baron, into a copy of IP Masquerena, and then we'll see him pass turn. So yeah, standby phase, Baron effect, to attempt to go ahead and special summon a level 9 or lower from grave. It's going to be Artifact Scythe effect. It does resolve here, but if you're playing Dinomorphia, you really don't care too much about getting Scythed on your turn. Now, if you knew what he was playing against in advance, you could just hold the Baron play for the whole turn, and then try to tag out on the standby phase of your next turn to activate Artifact Scythe. But yeah, I mean, I get it, right? It's something you always want to go for blind, for sure. But Dinomorphia is an interesting case here, and it's really not going to affect the deck too much. We're just going to see him Prosperity. And I think he took a copy of Dinomorphia Frenzy, which is like one of the better traps for the deck. And then we're just going to see him set 4 like the deck typically does. And we'll see him try to leave the main phase here, where our Libromancer player is going to activate IP Masquerena to go ahead, of course, go into Nightmare Unicorn. Kind of like an end phase MST, if you will, here. A little bit better in this case. Obviously, since the cards were just set, can't use them. So might as well clear one for free, especially if it means you're going to get a discard of Jet Synchron into the graveyard. And remember, of course, Intervention is still set. When your opponent activates a card effect, target one Libromancer, Ritual Monster control, return to the hand if you do negate that activated effect. Yeah, card or effect. So that's pretty generic. So we're going to see in the standby phase here of our Libromancer player's turn, or the draw phase, whichever it is, I'm not sure. We're going to see our Dinomorphia player flip up Anti-Spell Fragrance. Now, I don't know how much that's going to do to necessarily slow the deck down, since it's pretty much, I want to say he has used all the spells that it's probably going to, or at least that it really needed to, because it's already got Doombroker on field. You know, which you summon with the field spell, which has already been sent off to the graveyard. And I want to just read Doombroker again. It says, when this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls, shuffle into the deck. Okay, so at a 2,500 body, that's not a bad effect. So we're going to see Jet Synchron effect activate Engrave here. And I think getting it confused with Plague Spreader Zombie, not stacking a card at the top of the deck, but instead milling that, or discarding the Veiler from the hand. So I imagine we'll see an access code play here. Yep. We'll see if the summon is successful. Nope, gonna pay half to Solemn Judgment, the summon of access code. Otherwise, that access code would have been very devastating going into all those back row. I mean, he only, I want to say, had Dark Engrave, so it was going to be like a pop one at most, but you don't really care too much about the anti-spell. I mean, maybe you do care about the anti-spell if you are the Libromancer player currently, because, I mean, you might need the ritual spell here to get some more steam going, or anything really, but we're going to see him normal summon fire, activate the other Dinomorphia trap that's not Frenzy, it's Domain. It's going to get Ashed, which is really, really strong against Dinomorphia. So strong that's actually going to be the end of game 1 here. We're just going to see, them go right to game 2, where Dinomorphia is going to have to go first, setting 4 and passing. Draw phase, anti-spell, draw phase, chain E-Telly. E-Telly's a pretty good card, especially when you got 2 of them, right? So definitely chain both of those to get value out of them. Otherwise, they're going to have to, set them and wait a whole turn to activate them because of the anti-spell. So we're going to see him go ahead and summon both copies of Geek Boy here, since it is a level 3 Psychic. And then we'll see him activate one of the Geek Boy's effect to go ahead and add a Libromancer spell from the deck to the hand. So that's going to go ahead and add a copy of First Appearance, the field spell. And still 3 back row here that are unknown. You really want to watch out for Domain and Frenzy, as those are the trap cards that really let Dinomorphia play. And I would kind of compare Dinomorphia to Flouandereeze. Yes, it can be have very, very fragile choke points. Like Eagle on, or Imperm on Eagle, or ashing, or like ogreing the field spell, right? Or sometimes even just ashing Prosperity, right? Like, it has very, very fragile choke points that can stop the turn, but once the engine gets rolling, it is very hard to come back from it just because it's so oppressive. So we're going to see a Magician's Souls come down here. It's going to go ahead and send off First Appearance, attempt to draw. That's going to go ahead and trade 1 for 1 with the Ash Blossom there. And you're really just kind of hoping, if you're the Libromancer player right now, that you have Ash in hand to stop a Frenzy or a Domain. Or if you're the Dinomorphia player, right, you hope that you have something like Solemn Strike to back up a Domain or a Frenzy. So we're going to see him go ahead and commit the normal summon of Libromancer Fire. And I want to see if this card is Special Summon. So it only gets its effect on Special Summon. So we'll not get the effect to add a Ritual Monster, or Libromancer Monster, from the deck to the hand. So we're going to see him just go Link 2 into Hita, Fire Charmer Ablaze. Haven't seen this card in a very long time, so we're going to go ahead and see it slurp up the Ash in the opponent's graveyard. And I don't see an Ash in our Libromancer player's hand here. I think I see... What is that one? Agent. I think that's Libromancer Agent in hand, and one other copy of like Geek Boy or something. So we're going to see him link off the other Geek Boy and the Ash into Hulk. Hulk effect to go ahead and summon out Jet Synchron. And here we're going to see a copy of Domain get activated here. It's going to go pay half to go ahead and fusion summon from the deck, and extra deck for a Dinomorphia Fusion Monster. We'll see him dump Theresia and the bird, the stealth bird, and then summon out Kentrigina. Kentrigina effect will banish a Dinomorphia trap, basically to copy its effect. Pay half, put him down to 2k to go ahead and fusion summon again. So this is just a way of getting your life points even lower to bring out Rexstrom, which essentially will act as like a true King of all calamities a little bit better, or a little bit worse than Calamities, I want to say, just because the wording on Calamities and Wrexham are different enough to the point where it makes a huge difference, actually. Calamity says possession, whereas Wrexham says control. Control is everything on the field. Possession is everything on, like, your field, your grave, your extra deck, like everywhere, right? That stops everything. So we're going to see him go ahead and fusion summon out Wrexham here. His opponent only has 2,000 life points, and I do want to just pull up Wrexham really fast. Yeah, it says your opponent cannot activate the effects of monsters they control that have attack greater than or equal to your life points. So anything with 2,000 or higher attack right now on his opponent's side of the field cannot activate. Continuous effect. And Wrexham also has another effect. It says a quick effect, you can pay half of your life points, much like all the Dinomorphia cards say. The attack of all monsters your opponent currently controls become equal to your life points until the end of this turn. So you can really make sure they're not activating any of the effects, period. So right now the board is kind of like essentially under like a pseudo skill drain. Access Code Talker is not going to do anything right now just because it has 2,300 attack, and obviously that is more than 2,000. So we need something with less than 2,000 attack. So anything with 1,999 attack and lower to potentially to be able to do something to out this field. You want to run over the Wrexham, but you have to worry about the quick effect of him paying half and then making everything 1,000 attack. So then you need something with 1,000 attack or lower to like, you need like, it's so hard to out this like card sometimes, to out like spell and trap forms of removal, because if you want to activate an effect, you need something 1,999 or lower. And then, you know, if it's like 1,500, they can just chain, right? Or preemptively pay half. And then now you need something that's, you know, 999 or lower. And then on top of that, you need to be able to get into something in your extra deck that's 3,000 or higher that can just run over it. That also doesn't need to activate any effects. But we're going to see, after he links for Linktrebo, Imprudent Intrusion, I think. And I'm going to pull this card up. This is a little tech of my friend Johnny's here. It says, your life points must be lower than your opponent's to activate and resolve this effect. Activate one of these effects. Destroy one monster your opponent controls with attack less than or equal to the difference in life points, which is pretty insane at this point, especially when one monster from your graveyard with attack less than or equal to the difference in life points. So it had to have had 6,000 attack or less, but Theresia fits the bill there. So we can go ahead and summon Theresia. And then Theresia will set a copy of Domain and then pass it back to him, Domain effect, to go ahead and fusion by sending Diplos and Theresia to summon out another Kentragina here. And Kentragina effect can even activate now to pay half. Well, to copy an effect, which will cause him to pay half. Because I don't think Kentragina itself actually pays half. It's just copying the trap. Yeah. Quick effect, you can pay half your life points, banish. Okay, so yeah, so you're just paying half from the trap, or from Kentragina, not the trap, because I think the cost does not have to be paid since it's a different card using the effect, even though you're still technically paying the cost. So going for another Kentragina, they're all losing 250 attack, the Kentraginas, but that's still pretty huge, 3,750. And the Linktrebo cannot activate either, obviously, and using Rex to half his life points down again. So yeah, Dinomorphia taking it there pretty commandingly. And we're going to go to a game 3 situation where we will see the Libromancer deck go first, as you would expect. Definitely don't want to let Dinomorphia go first if you can help it. Even like, we are going to see something pretty interesting here. I don't know if this was intentional or if this was a bad hand, but we're going to see our Libromancer player actually just let his first turn go. He's just going to go ahead and pass. He did go first, choosing to pass, and then we're going to see our, Dinomorphia player go ahead and lead his turn with a copy of Duality. Go ahead and grab a copy of the Domain, or the Frenzy, rather. And the reason I think he might be doing this is he probably knows that Dinomorphia is not capable of OTKing whatsoever. But, I mean, now you do have to worry about playing into live trap cards. But you do get to see an extra card, because like I said again, you know they're not going to be able to OTK you. The deck does not even come close to OTKing turn 1. So that is just out of the realm of possibilities. So you could just, give up your first turn and take that extra draw. He also has Red Reboot in hand, so maybe this is why he's doing it as well. To take the extra draw, to help push through the board, and also have Reboot on top of that, which is, like, honestly the most unfair card against Dinomorphia. Like, and it's a 1 of 2. Like, if you're playing Dinomorphia and you get Red Rebooted, just like, and you don't have Judgment, like, ouch, that hurts a lot. So we're going to see Magician Souls here pitch off a Called by the Grave, and that's going to go ahead and get ashed. I mean, I'm going to be totally honest, I don't know if that's, like, a correct point to ash, but you really can't, if you're a Dinomorphia player, you can't really let your opponent have a chance to see more cards, especially in games 2 or 3, just because Red Reboot is a thing. So we're going to see Domain activate, we're going to see Ash activate, we're going to see Strike activate, and then you said, you know, you're going to pay half, you're going to pay 15, I'm going to pay half my own half here, to activate Red Reboot, which is just, again, pretty insane. So the Frenzy won't resolve, and then, you know, the Solemn Strike will get reset, and you'll set a copy of Domain from the deck because of Red Reboot. You know, you get a set of Trap, right? You know, it's kind of fair. So yeah, after a little bit of thinking, we're just going to see our Libromancer player here continue on, knowing that he doesn't have to worry about anything in the back line for the most part. I mean, there could be a set Called by the Grave, right? Which obviously is not going to get stopped by Red Reboot, but how good is Called by the Grave going to be? And also what's scary at this point too, Libromancer Fire is going to help link into Hida. Hida's going to take the Ash, and especially with only being at 2,500 life points, this is a very scary position to be in if you're the Dinomorphia player, because, you know, access code is a thing. So Jet Synchron is going to get summoned by Hulk, and then here you can just go into Nightmare Unicorn, spin a back row, get rid of the trap that he just set. So even if he isn't able to OTK here, he loses that card, that free card that he got technically. And yeah, the other set is Imperm, so completely locked down. Just going to go for Unicorn and then Jet Synchron effect into access code, because you don't want to use Unicorn there, else you won't be able to bring back the Jet Synchron. But yeah, access code just going up to 53 will be enough for game. So we're going to see Libromancer take it 2-1. And last but not least, a huge shout out goes to our Divine level channel members, who are Tweeter0226, Pony Start, Cadillacs84, Justin Lamb, and HCH Cyber. Thank you guys so much, as always, for extremely kind and generous support of the channel.